First of all, I just want to say, Lennon, you're not allowed to show any video of me at my wedding. And so I'm Jeff's younger brother by 2 years. And I'd like to start by saying, Jen, I'm sorry because I promised I would not drop any F-bombs during this whole thing. But you just look fucking gorgeous. So Jeff told me about 10 years ago I would be his best man. And at the time I had no idea what that meant. So I went on Google and I researched it. Blah, blah, blah. And the best man gives a best man speech. Uh-oh, I thought. I'm gonna have to write the biggest speech of my life, and Jeff is not allowed to edit it. You see, my whole life I've struggled in the languages, especially English. Whether it was my cover letters, resumes, essays, I always needed his help. He was my savior. That's until about 3 years ago. He told me he's gonna edit my resume, but I'd have to take him out to Peter Luger's for the time he's putting into it. And since then, I've gone to my sister and Lennon. So thanks, guys. So I've known Jeff for 28 years. That's my entire life. And I believe I know everything there is to know about him. And then I thought about it. I was like, why in the world would Jen want to marry him? So then it hit me. I was like, let me ask her. So I asked Jen last week. I said, Jen, what do you look for in a man? Just give me a few words, send me a text message. And she gave me a list. Athletic, strong, tall, intelligent, adventurous, spontaneous, confident, supportive, sensitive, honest, family-orientated, Red Sox fan, good dancer, and good role model. And then I was like, oh boy, Jeff does not have all those qualities. We're in trouble. So then I just thought about it. I was like, you know what? If I really think about it, I know Jeff may possess 1, 2, or 3 of those qualities. But is it possible he has all of them? So strong, athletic, tall. Right off the bat, we kind of give those to him, right? It's a shoo-in. Nobody really knows I had to call the zip lining place in Costa Rica before we went because he was over the weight limit. Intelligent. So a lot of people don't know this about Jeff. But he actually rewrote Jaws in 1989. Complete with pictures and vocabulary. And here you see he says, they are singing. And there's a nice picture of 3 guys on the boat singing. So Jeff's obsession with Jaws grew as he got older. It was when he was in middle school that he decided to buy deleted scenes on eBay for an absurd amount of money that I won't say over here. $700. And then he went on to memorize the movie so he could actually recite it. And this meant every time my family went up to Boston to see our family, my sister and I were stuck in the back and Jeff would be replaying Jaws to us through his mouth. And if you guys were wondering, Quint dies in Hartford. Adventurous, spontaneous. By a show of hands, how many of you have hung out with Jeff, had an unbelievable time, you're about to call it a night, drop him off, or go your separate ways, and then he tells you he lost his cell phone, wallet, or keys. And then you gotta go all the way back, retrace your steps, even if it's in Philadelphia. Confident, driven. Now Jen, don't kill me for this, but before Jeff met you, he could get any lady he wanted. We would go out to the bar, there would be a group of girls hanging out, and without any trouble, he would go and get all of their numbers, call me over if I needed it. Sorry. And at the end of the day, you get any girl you want. And I hate to do this, but I'm gonna need all the girls out there who still have a copy of his apartment key to come and hand it in. Come on, I'm serious. Come on, ladies. Hand it in right here. Come on. Guys, I said everybody. Everybody. Supportive, sensitive. Many of you know me as a stud athlete, but that was not always the case. In 4th grade, I tried out for majors in Little League. I was able to make the team. My dad happened to be the coach. So I was playing with all 5th and 6th graders. I went on to strike out every single at bat for the first half of the season. And I just swung at the first 3 pitches no matter what. So Jeff came up to me during the middle of the season. He was like, Mike, why don't you just take some pitches? You could get on base finally. And I was like, I want to hit. And he didn't pressure me. He was like, you know what? I understand. That's cool. And it was just great that he had my back there. I'll always remember that. Honest. Family-oriented. I don't have the most important prop here. Okay. All right, so I had to go through the basement in the garage to find this, but after a few hours I was able to. So back in 1st grade, Jeff wrote something about me. And I always thought he loved me to death. I've never heard him say a bad word about me. But apparently in his diary that he thinks nobody's gonna read ever, he thinks differently. This is called Little Brother is a Brat. My brother's name is Mikey. Mikey says what I say, he builds what I build. And he always copies me. He starts fights and blames me. He goes to speech. I teach him math. When my mom was in the hospital, I had to have my birthday in the hospital because Mikey was being born. Red Sox fan. So many of you people don't know, I used to be a Yankee fan. Throughout the 1990s, I was a Yankee fan. And to say it's difficult to be a Yankee fan growing up in the same bedroom as Jeff is difficult. Is an understatement. It's actually impossible. So in 1998, I flipped. And I became a Red Sox fan. I think my dad's coming around to forgive me 15 years later, but I'm unsure. So Jen, when you said you need a Red Sox fan, you have one. Now I don't want everybody to think I'm a pushover, because I've been a diehard Jet fan for the last 28 years. And it's taken 25 of them to make Jeff become a Jet fan finally. So Jen, when you guys have kids, do not bring them up Jet and Red Sox fans, because they do not deserve that. Nobody does coming into the world. It'll be a tough life. There's not more I could ask for in an older brother. Writing the speech, I've enjoyed to add humor and jokes, but growing up, Jeff has meant a whole lot more than that to me. He's always been the perfect role model. And that's why I think Jeff actually meets all of the qualities that you listed for me. And I actually think he meets even one more, and that is he makes Jen happy. So Jen, you're loving, you're caring, You're an awesome three-point shooter. You're compassionate, sensitive, aware, and obviously beautiful. And with Jeff, I don't think you're gonna make Jeff a great three-point shooter. But I see you bring out a light in him that I never saw growing up. Together, you two make an enormous match that cannot be matched. So everyone, please raise your glasses. Like to raise a toast to a forever lasting, loving, and exciting marriage. Cheers.